Hey, good morning, YouTube. It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Happy Friday, everyone. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Rain, sleet, snow, dead of night. Doesn't matter. We choose to be grateful, right? Today is July 2nd. We're going to be talking about sandcastles coming out of Matthew 6:19 through 21. Morning version is the T, L as in Larry, B as in boy version. And the evening version of Matthew 6:19 Matthew 6 verses 19 through 21 is the New Living Translation version, the NLT version. And without further ado, it is 4th of July weekend, so I'm not going to hold you. As a matter of fact, Saturday, which is my dad's birthday, and Sunday, which is actual day, America's going to physically celebrate 4th of July. Both of my morning devotionals will be pre-recorded, but they will have as much zeal and as much fervor as they do on a daily basis. And so don't worry about that, but they will be pre-recorded and set to launch automatically. That way you guys can get your word pretty early on before your holiday adventures get started every day, okay? All right, just FYI on that. Also, you guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to comment down below if you want. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Things just get better and better and better from here. I promise. We just have to be patient, right? We just have to be patient, right? Everything's not going to be always the way that it was, right? We are evolving and changing as humans, as Christians, as adults. Right, so stay tuned. The whole channel won't be devotional. The reviews will be back as soon as something moves me. I will be back to review it. All right, you guys, let's talk about sandcastles. Matthew 6 verses 19 through 21. The TLB version reads as such. Okay, anyway. Don't store up treasures here on earth, where they can erode away or may be stolen. Store them in heaven, where they will never lose their value and are safe from thieves. If your profits are in heaven, your heart will be there too. The text for the morning says, have you ever been sitting on a beach and watching a little child working tirelessly on an elaborate sandcastle? They spend hours perfecting their creation, thoughtfully forming each section, often stepping back to admire their work. But these little children are unaware of the patterns of the ocean's waves and don't realize that as the day passes, their masterpiece will eventually be swept away by the swelling tide. All that work, all that concentration, all that pride gone as the water erases the shore. What proverbial castles are we building in our lives that could at any moment be simply erased? We have to buy into a bigger vision. We must know what can last and what won't. There are temporary kingdoms and a kingdom that will never pass away. We have to recognize which one we are contributing to. So, yeah. Are we contributing to the temporary kingdom? Are we contributing to the kingdom that will never pass away? That's a really good question. That's a really good question for ourselves, right? Especially when you think about consumerism, when you think about being on trend, you know what I mean? Doing what's popular, putting your money towards what is on trend, and not necessarily edifying to the body or to Christ, right? So yeah, we have to recognize which one we are contributing to. Our prayer for this morning is, Lord, I want to build meaningful things for your kingdom. Give me the discernment to know what it truly is worth to you. Give me the discernment to know what it truly is worth to you. Then the evening version of Matthew 6:19 verses Matthew 6 verse 19 through 21. I need to slow down. New Living Translation reads, "Don't store up treasures here on earth, where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be." The text says, if your work and your heart are invested in a heavenly vision, then what you have spent your life on will continue to matter for longer than you live. Oh, wow. 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 Used to listen to, I still do listen to Miles Monroe. My mom used to have all his tapes, so I started to say I used to listen to Miles Monroe tape. My mom used to play them all through the house. He's gone on now to be with the Lord. He and his wife were on a mission, and I think their plane crashed. But Miles Monroe did an entire series on potential. If you ever get an opportunity to check out Miles Monroe, I say check it out. If you've got young children, preteen, teenage children going to college or in college, and you want to bless them with something, get Miles Monroe on CD. I don't know if people do that anymore, or podcast, or, you know what I'm saying, put a playlist together for them. But one of the things that he mentioned was some of the most potential is in the grave, right? In the cemetery. A lot of people die still full of their potential. And our goal should be to die empty, meaning we leave it all here. Okay? We leave it all here, right? We don't need our potential in heaven because it is all complete there. We have want and need of nothing when we get to heaven, huh? We don't, right? We need it here to matriculate on this earth, to garner faith with both God and man, but and to build up a place of safety here. But more importantly, we need it to lead others to Christ, to continue to expose others to Christ-like behaviors, Christ-like way of thinking, of moving, of maneuvering. That's what we need our potential for. We need it for the kingdom here, to build up the kingdom here. Okay? So that's one of the things he talks about. He talks about dying empty. Right? Leaving it all here. Not trying to take your knowledge with you, your gift with you. You don't need it in heaven. We need it here on earth. Right? And so when we read, if your work and your heart are invested in a heavenly vision, then what you have spent your life on will continue. Okay? That means the legacy of what you have built will continue on. It'll continue to matter long after you have left this earth. And that's key. When we think about people like Dr. Sebi, when we think about people like Nelson Mandela, who have left a legacy here, even when you think about individuals such as T.D. Jakes, for example. T.D. Jakes will definitely leave a legacy here. Even me talking about Miles Monroe, being a woman in her 50s, I remember being younger and listening to my mom listen to Miles Monroe, and I caught some residual from it and grew to love Miles Monroe writings and teachings. He's got whole workbooks out there, you guys. I really, really encourage you to check it out. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to find a couple of links to put into the community section for first and next week. I know you guys are going to be busy this weekend, just enjoying your family and kind of chilling out a little bit. So I don't expect you to go out and find it. If you want it, it'll be there. But definitely first and next week, if you get a chance, put on your to-do list to check out Miles Monroe, his teachings on potential. Also, so that's a really, really good example of how your legacy continues to live on. How what you've invested in, your heavenly vision, continues to live on here, and it continues to bless and encourage and invite others into Christ and Christ-like way of thinking and living. The next paragraph says, spending your time investing in eternal souls of people, in eternal vision of advancing God's kingdom, and in never-ending truth, the never-ending truth of the gospel. In these things you will find purpose and treasure that will never be lost. Spend your time investing in the eternal souls of people, in the eternal vision of advancing God's kingdom, and in never-ending truth of the gospel. In these things you will find purpose and treasure that will never be lost. Okay? Then our prayer for the evening is, Father God, I know that you have created my life with meaning and purpose. Help me to see how the gifts that you have given me matter in terms of eternity. Let me see the value in all my time, energy, and talent. Then our question for ourselves today, July 2nd, is, what are you putting your time and energy and talents into? Are you being used for God's glory? Right? And I want to just delineate here for a second, because I really want us to think about how we move on this earth on a day-to-day basis, right? Because I think a lot of times people feel like you can't have fun, you can't laugh, you can't enjoy yourself, you can't indulge in things that bring you a little bit of joy or a little bit of respite from your day-to-day pressures. No. I think you can have fun and love the Lord. I think you can enjoy yourself and love the Lord. I believe that. I live that. It is the overindulgence that dulls down our giftings and our callings. It is the dilly-dallying, right? It's the fodder. It's when we allow ourselves to get distracted and led down rabbit holes, and we're talking and discussing things that really have no merit whatsoever as it pertains to eternal souls, the eternal vision of advancing God's kingdom, or the never-ending truth of the gospel. When we get stuck there, and that's who we become, the sum total of who we become, that's the problem. That's the issue. When we put aside God's business, or we don't do everything to the glory of the Lord, That's when you get caught in the minutia. I'm telling you, that's when you get delayed. You know, you stop by for a minute and you look up and it's 2 weeks later. It's some people out here who are getting delayed in gossip and nonsense and foolala, and they only plan to stay a minute. They only plan to peep in and pop back out. And like an addict, you know what I'm saying, that first hit was the worst hit, right? And you look up and you strung out somewhere, and it's weeks later, it's months later, right? That's why we got to be careful. Got to be careful. All things in moderation, right? Especially going into 4th of July weekend, I wanna say that. I want us to think about that, because a lot of people feel like you know, all of your fun and excitement and your ability to engage in a more exciting way goes away when you decide that you want to follow Christ more earnestly, right? More devoutly. People feel like, okay, well, you're not gonna be, you know, fun anymore. You can still be fun, you can still be exciting, but you have to always remember you have a purpose and a calling. And you have to always remember that the things of this world are temporal. They're temporary. That what we do matters to the kingdom. Right? You can't lose sight of it. You can't be distracted by these sandcastles. Okay? Take a minute. Kneel down. Make a wing of the castle for yourself. And then go on about your way. Continue on with God's business, right? There's a song out there and it says, my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus Christ and righteousness. Okay? That's what you need to be thinking about. Have a good time this weekend, you guys. Enjoy yourselves. My prayer for you is that you will continue to invest in the eternal souls of people. The eternal vision of advancing God's kingdom and the never-ending truth of the gospel. Don't allow yourself to be distracted by baubles and shiny things, okay? The allure of fame or fortune or celebrity. Stay focused on the kingdom. Stay focused on these things, eternal souls, the eternal vision of advancing the kingdom and the never-ending truth of the gospel, right? Keep your eyes focused on that, because these are the things that bring you true prosperity. These are the things that bring you true success. And these are the things that bring you and your legacy longevity. Right? So that's my prayer for you today, you guys. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Man, I love you guys so much. And that's that on that. Okay. Until next time, honeybees. Mwah!